There's lots of evidence that shows that smoking is a major cause of inequalities in health in the UK. And the reason for that is that there's much higher rates of smoking in disadvantaged groups than more affluent groups. So this line here is people who lived in the most deprived areas in Scotland. And this turquoise line here is people who live in the least deprived areas of Scotland. And it shows three things. First of all, the enormous difference in smoking rates between people in the most deprived areas, about 38% smoke, compared to only about 12% in the least deprived. Secondly, it shows that smoking has been declining in all these groups over the last 12 years, so that's good news. But the third thing it shows is the not so good news is that the gap between people in the most deprived areas and the least deprived areas really has not changed in 12 years. That gap's about the same. So if you're a young person coming from a disadvantaged background, so a poorer background, you're more likely to start smoking. And then as you become an adult, you're less likely to quit than more affluent people. So it's a double whammy in a way, more likely to start smoking if you're disadvantaged, less likely to quit. Unfortunately, disadvantaged smokers, although they're as just as motivated to quit and try to quit as often as advantaged smokers, their quit rates are less successful. And while some of that we can maybe tackle through tobacco control, so like price, smoke-free, banning all forms of marketing and promotion, providing cessation support, a lot of this is about the lives that people experience. And so it's got to be about wider social policy measures that address inequalities in life. We've been very good in Britain in encouraging people from disadvantaged backgrounds to go for support, but we haven't been so good at finding ways that make that support more effective. So that's why things like incentives, tailored support, using things people are trying out in the centre, things like internet support, apps, anything that we think that might help, having groups that you can drop in anytime, so you don't have to make a weekly appointment. So if things are difficult, it doesn't matter, you can go to another session, what suits you. Just trying to be innovative. So you really need the two together. You need the action on tobacco and smoking, but that really needs to be complemented by addressing poverty and inequalities more generally.